Welcome to One Page Story Extravaganza. Up, 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 up. Okay, hi everybody. I hope people are having a good day, and so on and so forth, etc., etc. All right, let's get this out of the way and get down to brass tacks. Whoa, look out! There we go. That's better. Okay, hi. So what I've got going here is the page that I just did yesterday. But before I get to that, if you've got a one-page story idea, feel free to share it here. Right, Corbin? Corbin agrees. All right. Sorry, I'm having a problem with one of my programs is driving me crazy, and it's just interfere with everything else. So I'm just getting rid of it. Okay. Hey, how are you? All right. So Corbin and I have been hanging out in the studio all morning, getting some stuff done. And we got all the stuff done for the upcoming convention, and we're still waiting on deliveries. And I mean, Dee Dee did a picture of Corbin that she sent me now. That hasn't come in yet. But I think I'm starting to realize how bad Canada Post is. Because I've had packages come from the States, and it's at the border. And then it's a hassle from that point forward. So I think it's us. But no jinx, huh? Right? We're not going to jinx it because we want the thing. So I need this banner for the upcoming convention. So, hiya, Chris. Welcome aboard. So today we're gonna do something a little bit different. The suggestion that we're working from today is from Ann Lar, and I stopped in and visited Ann's show a little bit, her stream there, a little bit there, and said, "Hi, what are you fighting with? Stop it." So the suggestion today, I'll write it on the post-it of choice. And Chris says, "The poor raccoon, he was so offended. Well, all he wanted to do was hang around, and he was just sad and dejected and just felt left out. Oh, poor guy. Just sad and melancholic after all that. Rejected and then dejected." So today's suggestion is Frankenstein as a hairdresser. Right? And it's Ann Lar that came up with this one. So that's the page we're doing today. Now, coincidentally, there's a page that is going to be posted this weekend. It's another Frankenstein. Get off. It's another Frankenstein page. So, it'll be cool. That'll be fun. All right, I'm just going to move this down. So that's our suggestion for today to work from. And I've got it written down for myself here now. But this is the finished page. I'm pretty pleased with it. It came together really well. And it was pen or paper, or let's see, pencil, white paint, pen, ink, gesso. What else can you think of, bud? I don't know. Anyways, I think that might be it, but that's what came together for this page. So there we go. Hello, you're late. You're late for a very important date. I am. I hope not. Okay, so today's page is I'm going to switch things up a second here. So I'm on my Photoshop screen for a reason. I've got the con flyer together for the convention I'm doing this weekend. And I should have put a picture of Corbin because he's much better looking than I am. And but this is the page I'm doing today. And one of the things that we've got set up for the con is that we've got these ballots. Can you see this bozo? Well, you can now. Get right in the camera, Corbin. These ballots are for people at the con to fill out one-page ideas. And then there's the little thing for the ballot box. But we thought that'd be fun. And then I also learned how to do this. What? So that's very exciting too. So yeah. Anyways, this is the page I'm working on today. And so the whole idea here, Chris is that should be cooking and listening in the background. She says, Corbin. Yeah, she yelled at you. Oh, she didn't yell. She just said hi. So why I've got this up on the screen is I've done a number of these now. And in the ones that I've done, I always start with this first panel because I just, it sort of ties them all together as one uniform thing. But the idea that the Frankenstein monster was a little kid named Steven in that first page that I did is so funny to me. So I basically believe that all of these different pages that I do is Steven's journey. So it's a fun name for a Frankenstein monster to have as Steven. So that first panel that I've got on this screen right now is how each one of these starts. And then we get right into it. Like we start getting right into the whole, he's going to be a hairdresser, etc., etc. Okay, just seeing what something came up. So, that's the fun. But the way I usually do these ones, I'll put that there, is I tend to just draw them in pencil. Or, as many people have guessed, Corbin actually does all the drawing. It's, I'll give you a shot of that. Corbin, here we go. Here's your pencil, buddy. Yeah, here's your pencil. He draws with his mouth. Go. See? Here we go. There's the secret truth, everybody. He's such a weird. All right. So, yeah. Let me tell you how exciting it is to try to do things like this with a cat in your lap. Sure, other people that have cats know the same thing, or other people that have dogs know the same thing. But there he is. So he's been waiting by the mailbox all day for me. He hasn't really. He's been sitting right here harassing me. Trying to move over, pal. Where's your toy go? He has a little stuffed toy that he carries around the studio now, and he carries around the house. And whenever it gets up on top of my desk, he gets really mad at it and picks it up and takes it someplace else in the house and hides it. It's the funniest thing. But he'll be the one to put it up on my desk. It's very changeable, this guy's emotions. Sit down, relax. Okay, so with this in mind, so we've got our Frankenstein first up. Hi, Aditi, welcome aboard. Here we go. I gotta move this over because it's a lot of stretching. It's a lot of reaching on my part. Here we go. Happy days. Okay, so I'm going to go to the overhead, and we'll go from there. So the idea with a page like today is, it says the finished product looks great. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. That's very nice of you. I tend to start, because I start with that first panel, I don't have to worry about that. That immediately introduces the character, and it introduces the setup, right? So it's one of those things where you're just sort of right off the hop in the story, and I kind of like that. That's why I like to use that. So we can count this space as being used, but I'm just going to start drawing some Frankenstein panels, and then we'll see how we tie this together. So, but I think that maybe a way to go about it is let's just get right into it. So why don't we draw a hairdressing studio? Really, let's why not start there? So because I'm doing it only in pencil, and then I do the coloring and finishes in the computer, this tends to go a lot faster because I don't have all of the additional business to have to worry about. So I apologize now if I do have to run away for a second because somebody comes to my door. Someone's going to come to my door, grumble, because I have to answer it if somebody's delivering the thing that I've ordered from Toronto. So it's a banner, and maybe I will try when it gets here to roll it out and show you. But Lori's been helping me out, and for those of you that don't know, Lori's my better half. She has been helping me figure out how to brand myself, basically. And figure out how to. For the longest time, I've done everything from the vantage that it's not just me; it's about promoting and supporting other people too. And it's only now, in the last little while, that it's. I'm tired. I just need a little bit of me time. So that's what we're doing. Is we're focusing more on what I'm up to, and so the new banner, or it's a banner. It's like a stand-up thing. You just scroll out, right? One that's coming today. I have one for the comic company, but the one that's coming today is for me. So just a gigantic picture of my head. That's all it is. Love him, it says in big letters. Fear him, love him, respect him. Corbin was really impressed by that. I believe his response was, "Yeah, you're all right." Okay, so I'm drawing, first off, a lady working on someone's hair, right? Pretty straightforward. I'm going to move my chair to an angle so I'm not holding the board at an angle. So with the first image, I just want to get right into the hair shop. Now, but in each panel, I need to incorporate somehow the Frankenstein monster. And the one that I've been using is the most recognizable one, which is the Universal horror monster. So I'm going to do that again. But in this panel, as I'm drawing this young lady cutting hair, I'm going to have Frank behind her. Then, of course, the way to sell the size difference is he's not going to fit in the panel. And if it happens to me that I get cut out of photographs because of my height, it's definitely happening to him. So I just thought it would be funny to open the whole thing with a shot of our main character to tell for the image. So I got to get that second arm in there, and I'm just going to put a bit of the second pair, the scissors here, and then we're going to put the client's hair in the image right here. So all of the coloring, all of the ink work and all of that stuff, that when it goes into the pages, it makes for short work traditionally, but it makes for more work digitally for the coloring and getting that done. So I don't know why I started giving this guy a mustache. He got his mouth open. He's going to be yakking. We're always yakking, getting their hair did. So I hope everybody's doing okay, and that I hope that everybody that's taking part in the zine swap is not making themselves crazy about the zines. It's not. Yours is going to be great. It's going to be great. I cannot draw and chat. Nice skill. Oh, cool. Thanks, Chris. I can always talk. I don't stop talking. Okay, so we're going to give this person some hair. So they're getting their hair all cut up. This is the moment where they say, "So how would you like it?" That's what this is. And then we've got to get that fantastic barber blanket. I don't know what it's called. I'm going to call it that. But yellow, Jim. Hello, sir. So, the most stylish thing on the entire planet to have to wear is the little drapery that's thrown over you while they're chopping your hair, so they don't get hair in your clothes. So I've got my little imaginary line here going for the extent of the panel. Now we're going to run the same one across here. Not me, Zine Swap, but making my own for the Zine Swap, but you're making your own and you're sharing it on Instagram. Well, that's fantastic. Because the second type endlessly when I'm on teacher's mode. Well, see, there you go. You sort of have to. Because the moment you stop, Vinny Barbarino's trying to sneak out the back of the room. Hey, saw that. Mrs. G, I thought you were done. Chris, what are you watching? Any of the Mexican Congress alien body press conference this morning? What? Really? Is that real? Oh, Chris K. Is that real? Is that real? Corbin's never heard of it. I just asked him. He said, I don't know. I've never heard of that. It's Corbin's voice. I didn't do it. Did you know that I'm a cat? That's the token expression. That's his catchphrase. I saw bits of it, but the guy, my son, has been caught in past frauds. Ah, bummer. Hiya, Janet. Welcome aboard. That's a bummer. See, I wanted it to be the be all, tell all. This is true. So, okay, so we've got her cutting in here in the foreground, and I'll tighten up the pencils. We're just going to get this all down today. And then right here behind her, I thought I would have Frank. As he's got. Well, let's just put him in a similar pose right now. So for those who join late, I'm going to have to run away at a certain point and answer my door, but I'll be right back. Don't worry, I won't be abandoning you. Okay, so we've got big giant shoulders going in here. Got his arm. We'll put his hands on somebody else's head. So the suggestion for today is Frankenstein as a hairdresser, which is the only way to fly. And I decided to sit down and finish Frankenstein at a country jamboree, so that'll be going up on Saturday. Jenna says, when they drag out the alien bodies, you better beware. They ruled out 2 tiny corpses, provided all kinds of international DNA results. What's going to happen next? It ain't good for the taxpayers. What's going to happen is that they're going to reveal that the DNA that they've discovered is incredibly similar to silver foxes. And then the camera is going to go chick click, and it's going to switch over to a guy with gray hair who goes, that's right. And it's going to switch back to the recorder. It'll be awesome. You're going to love it. All right. Okay, so we're putting Franken behind her. We got his rolled up sleeve here. We got his big gigantic hand. We'll put somebody's head right here underneath his as well, or his hand as well. And we'll give him a pair of scissors. Scissors, bad. Anyways, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. That sounds interesting. I didn't hear anything about that. What's the deal with this lately? The American government, somebody said that there was aliens or something, or is this all just internet mumbo jumbo? Because it sure sounds like it. All right, let's imagine what happens with a pair of scissors. So our first finger and our thumb go through the little holes in it. And if that's the case, then that means the scissors go like so. And then there's the little rings as they come off of the bottom part. And there's the base. Snippy, snippy. So the other hands would be. The other fingers, I'm sorry, on the hand would be unfurled. So that's what you do when you're using scissors. Your little pinkies in the business go right. So maybe CK heard more being in Mexico. As long as it's Sam Elliott, I'm good. That's all you need is. All right, muchachos. We're from outer space. It'll be so good. Some years ago, this guy presented similar evidence and he was caught in a fraud. That's why I'm skeptical. I don't believe him. I think it's a distraction for something shady going on here in Mexico. What would it take for a majority of the public to believe it's real? Listen, I love all you guys, I really do. But 60% of Americans think that angels are real and that they see them every day. Now, I have no statement on that, right? But if you've got that many people that believe in angels, I think that people are willing to believe in larger ideas, right? Unknown ideas, unknown, unproven factors. For the scientists need everything in tactile proof, tangible proof, right? But yeah, if this many people believe in aliens, in general is one thing, but when you've got a major populace that believes solidly in the existence of angels, there's a possibility of them believing that the alien thing's real. Because I was there that night where they done lowered down, picked me up, and gave me a probe. Judy says, probably not much, Jim. Not saying aliens are real, but I'd rather hear that from another person and not that guy. I see, Jimmy Mawson. Janet doesn't trust anything. It's because she lives on an island full of monkeys. I believe in angels and demons. See, there you go. That's what I'm talking about. And again, like I said, I have no judgment on that. To my knowledge, I've never met one. But, I don't think you always have to meet somebody to have tangible proof of it. I illustrated a Sasquatch comic recently, and the person that I was illustrating it for believes, absolutely, solidly believes in it. And he himself believed that, proof positive that, yep, that's real. It's totally real. It's totally legitimate. And great. I have nothing to say about the whole matter. Now, if we get invaded by flying saucers full of 8-foot Sasquatches, right? And, we're like, oh, we didn't see that coming. We're the dumbest people. Anyways. Me too, Dee Dee, says Janet. Oh no, conspiracy chicken! Chris believes in the conspiracy chickens. And I believe somebody at the door? I believe they are called chupacabras. Hey, Miriam, how you doing? Invisible doesn't mean not real. See, that's the point. There's so many things on this planet that we haven't got a clue about. Look at they just found a mega cephalid, a mega octopus squid thing, big enough to eat sharks, like a huge, 30-foot long thing. And we've always believed that those existed, but it's only in the last so many years that people are actually, because of our technology letting us be able to go and explore the deeper depths, we're starting to see things that we had no idea existed, and realizing that life is fantastic and has incredible ways of accommodating differences. Like now we realize there's a massive amount of creatures on this planet that are blind because they live in the absolute darkness of the ocean depth. That's kind of fun. So, all right, so here's our panel 1. So the whole plan with this panel was to get us up to Frank's size so that we could have this relationship of, here's a regular hairdresser and just for scale, here's Frank beside them. And that sort of establishes right off the hop, he's not one of the usual kids. So, and then the dialogue for these are always really remedial. I always do the dialogue as, Steven was learning to cut hair from his teacher, just silly stuff like that. So I only believe the conspiracies that I hear from chickens. Conspiracy chicken! So I have to consciously remind myself that Yvonne is Devin Rex. How did you move? Did you move to your new place? Curious about that. Always a massive undertaking. Okay, so while I'm putting in, see where the top of the mirror is, that was fully my intention to run that across the top of the panel. So while I'm putting in some of these details, they're not going to be seen in the frame. I'm putting them down. Just, so I have that choice of where to cut it. So, right? Sound good? Yeah, it's okay. So now I just need to fill the image with that little bit of business in the background, just to concretely root the whole thing together. So we'll put I've got the mirrors started. I think ideally what I should do is put a break between mirrors for all the different hairdressers, right? And then we'll have it go across here, and then we get a little bit of the fiddly bobs that the people use for cutting people's hair. Fiddly doos and diddly bobs is an official term. Say it with me. Fiddly doo and diddly bob. Oh, it's a different Yvonne. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I'm trying to keep up with all the names, folks, and I really apologize, Yvonne. I'm doing my best. I am not good at names. I always have to write them down. I checked my note, and it said Yvonne is Devin Rex. That's why I said that. So I apologize. See, I'm just trying to keep up. If you ring a bell, I've programmed myself to chase my own tail in a circle. I'm pretty basic. Okay, so we've got this little thingamajig hanging on the wall. It's got some of the stuff on it for the hair cutting. Jim says, question of the day, you think in our lifetime we'll explore the unexplored ocean? In our lifetime? It's a subjective thing. I think that there'll be more explored in my grandkids' lifetime, but I think that we're dancing a balancing act right now just to keep rolling along. But as soon as we're going to have to get more serious about the reclamation of land, and with a lot of displacement that's happening in the next 100 years with the rising oceans, I think that there's going to have to be an awful lot more understanding of the ocean itself. It's interesting. It's all kinds of different reports on that, So I'm just going to put a checkered floor pattern going there, just to draw into the room. It's a fun question, though. Dee, I have a problem with your account on Instagram. Aren't they already doing that, Jim? They're trying. Oh, you can't tag me, Dee. That's what it is. You are not in the block list because I never blocked you. Oh, I don't know how any of that works. Do you mean all of it? All of the ocean floor, Jim? All of it? Even this, the place outside of Florida? There's things that we know now that politics keeps us from exploring already, right? Like the city of Dwarka and off the coast of India. Can't explore Dwarka, right? There's two reasons. One is they don't want to upend. I'm going to turn the light off behind me. I'm sorry. Apologies. There, that's better. Sorry. Can't explore Dwarka fully because if it is the city of gods, you can't disrupt it. And if there's just too many people and there's too much volatility for belief systems to go down there and to break it all down. And then there's the city outside of Cuba on the ocean floor, 150 feet down, that's pyramids, the whole bit. We know it for a fact is real. I've done multiple scans of it over the years, but Cuba won't let anybody explore it. So politics is going to get in the way of us finding out the little bits of everything. So LiDAR is now discovering cities in the jungles. Oh, yeah. Oh, you betcha. That's awesome, isn't it? We'll do it only when Elon Musk decides to do it. Hiya, Anne. How are you? We're doing your page today. Anne's suggestion is Frankenstein as a hairdresser. So here's our first panel, and I'll just put a couple little poster images back here. Right, and so there we go with our images that as it comes together. So I can put a piece of reflection in this mirror, but the idea is that he is looking in this one and that she is looking in one that's over here. So that's where we're starting from, right? So we've already got I'll cut back to it for those that missed it. We've already got the Photoshop page that has the first panel in it, like the same as I do all the other Frankenstein ones. Hello, my name is Steve and I'm brushing my teeth. And so our second panel is Stephen learning to be a hairdresser. And so we've just jumped right into it. And that's kind of fun because that sort of gives us a good launching point, right? Okay, so there's our panel one. So now we're going to need to do yet another side shot of Oh, Frankie. I don't know. I think that there's a lot of things holding us back from investigating the ocean floor fully. Because I mean, for one thing, they're just going to make a movie out of it with Jason Latham or Jason. What is it? Statham, right? That guy could spend the rest of his career, taking on giant octopuses and sharks. I think that'll be a shtick. All right, so let's I'll put her, let me think about this. We'll put the lady in the foreground, okay? And then we'll put Frankie's big old shoulder there. The reason that I wanted to think about that for a second is that I still have to consider where text is going to go in an image. We got a spot there, we got some spot there, right? Still have to consider those things when we're drawing these. Yes, Corbin, what? Okay, so we know that her head is going to go down here, and that's going to put Frankie up here. So he's going to be looking over her, well, above her shoulder. And then as she shows him some things. So part of the fun is just trying to contextualize it. It's no matter what it is, we're drawing somebody learning how to cut hair. But whereas we're doing that, we're inserting Frankenstein's monster and as many dorky jokes as we can about that. So, oh, there we go. Look at that, Anne. You can specialize in creating electrifying streaks. Well, there's a fantastic thing is that this lady that we see here, by the end of it, when they finish her hair, of course she can look like the Bride of Frankenstein, right? Of course she could. Why not? Morticia Adams, like you can just there's so many different ways that we can play with that. So, but it's similar to when I did the Brady Bunch page. The Brady Bunch page, the suggestion was the Universal Monsters crossed with the Brady Bunch. And so what I did was I was doing the introduction of the show and the theme song, and I show the 9-panel grid, and it's all Universal Horror Monsters, but in the place of the family members. And so the little assessments of the personalities of the family members, and I would just drop in different horror monsters to accommodate those. So it's pretty dorky. But I used the set as the Brady Bunch set, and the family cars in there and the outside of the house. It's, yeah, but this is the stuff I'm talking about when I'm like, you gotta have fun. You gotta have fun with it and just explore the idea as far as you can take it. So that's half the fun, right? I've been watching some of the zines that people are coming up with right now, and they're really cool. Terry got me again. Brett did the same prompt that I did. She said, I stole your prompt, which it's not my prompt. But she did a one-page piece of it. It's great. I really enjoyed it. It's the sad frog. Janet says, oh man, the lift truck that was here to trim the trees is stuck in my yard. Tearing up Robert's golf course perfect lawn. Oh no, that's not good. Oh boy. They got to get some boards under that and get it off the lawn, especially before Robert gets home. He's going to show them his new chainsaw. So, again, I'm considering having the top of his head cut off. So, just exploring that. Eek, yeah. To answer Jim's question, I don't think so. Just too much there underwater to explore. It'd be great if the scientists could find monsters down there. Yeah, that would be interesting. I think that whatever's down there wants to be left alone. Robert's right there. Oh, no, Janet. Yeah. Okay. Let's play with this idea. We're underwater, the deepest parts of the ocean, right? And we do discover, all of these eldritch horrors and all of these cephalid cultures of advanced beings that live down there, and we do discover mega sharks and massive flora down there. What do we do with that? Because we're not gonna deal with it very well. Because the first thing that's going to happen is the corporate world's going to try to monetize it, and then we got a Cloverfield situation. He's gathering whatever is necessary to do repairs already. Oh my gosh, no. Terry's idea is taking the same prompts and doing something new is great. It's what Miriam and I did last Sunday. Yeah, I love that. I really do. I think that it's there's a million different interpretations we can do of the same ideas, and to be able to do so and to see the results of that is really cool. It's really cool. I'm sure, Jim, in answer to your question, not in mine for sure, Jim, in answer to your question. The Loch Ness Monster. Yeah, who knows? The Loch Ness Monster is the Donovan of Under the Ocean. They're a little behind with the music. I tell everybody they can take any of the prompts to use. Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah. It's like nobody has license to them. Here's Dee Dee. She's written all these things out. Of course you'd want as many people to use them as possible. That's the whole idea. Gotta get those dopey, sleepy eyes. I'll hold that up. Optimally, when you're drawing Frankie, you gotta make sure his eyes are dopey. Just it's not very reassuring to have a person whose eyes look like they haven't slept in I don't know how long. As the one that's holding a pair of scissors like this is cut hair. Yeah, it's not gonna go well. Robert went and got his truck and pulled them out. Oh man, that's how you do it. Use the same ones I pulled for someone else. Oh, excellent. Of course, yeah. Use any. I have the last 3. Been so busy now doing promo for my stream tomorrow. Never did that so late. I'll do it shortly. See, I do it the morning of. If anybody wants to use these ones, these are the ones that I'll be doing tomorrow. Shelf Moon and Woodpecker. And you want to hear what I got planned for it? Oh. Tune in tomorrow when I plan something for it. I have no idea what I'm doing. Shelf Moon and Woodpecker. That's the whole point, is to figure it out at the time, right? I kind of like that a lot because I'm a glutton for punishment. So, but Marsha asked for those this morning because we decided on yesterday that he's going to come on my stream and we're going to draw 3 prompt story pages together. He's going to join me in doing some drawing. And that's super fun. There's lots of different things, lots of different ideas floating around out there. I don't remember what color I did his shirt, but we'll figure this all out. Dee Dee said, that'll be fun to watch you in March. I hope so. Unless he steals my pencil crayons. Okay, so I'm going to draw the lady in front of him who's trying to teach him now. Right? That's what's going to make it interesting. So let's go with that. So we've got this hair that's flowing down onto her shoulder off the side. So I've got to repeat that, consider that again. Sort of set myself up with what she looks like right off the bat. So I think it'd be fun finding Atlantis. You know what I mean? There's a Comic-Con in London? Yes, there is. And Chris says, I'll watch the replay. It's a busy day tomorrow. This first course of term ends in September. Oh my gosh, you're hopping. Always hopping. Yeah, we have 2 conventions here in London, Ontario. One is called the Forest City, and the other one is called the London Comic-Con. And I think that, so I've been trying to do all the outreach and help all the artists and Artist Alley and all that stuff over the years. And so next year, I'm applying to SPX, and I think SPX is the same week in Bethesda, Maryland. And so next year, around this time, I'm going to be in the United States, in Maryland. I don't know how close that is to anybody, but maybe I'll see some people when I'm down there. Lori and I are going to head down and make a few days of it, have some fun. People drive. Unless we get, our car gets pulled over on the side by a sheriff and going, what do you do around these here parts? Right? And our vehicle breaks down and we got to stay in the town that's got the little thing rolling by, and there's a boy sitting on the porch going, dong, 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 dong. You like that song? Corbin loves that song. We have MomoCon and DragonCon. Is that in Atlanta? Oh, yeah, it is in Atlanta. You already answered. That's cool. That's cool. What's MomoCon? But, he's just down in the tournament. Come on. Shake a leg. Time's up. Move over. So since Lori's had to spend a little bit of time at her parents' with everything that's gone on, Corbin has become a little more clingy. We are all expecting all to come up to the Forest City. Everybody's welcome. We got 2 guest rooms. You only do that to be in the U.S. side of getting Happy Mail. Oh, there you go. Gaming, anime, comics, cosplay. See, I don't know if I fit into the superhero conventions anymore. I don't know that I ever really did. But so the thing about SPX in Maryland is that it's really alternative, and it's a lot of indie creators, a lot of indie comics, and I really like the idea of that. We have one in Canada. It is really alternative culture, and it's a hipster's paradise. So we'll see. I'll go to whatever cons I can at this point in the next year, but really, and the only one I'm really planning on next year is SPX. The London Con should be fun. Lou Ferrigno will be there. Now, I met Lou in around 2000. A really nice guy. He really is. He's hearing impaired, and my signing is terrible. So, I was thinking about something more to the European side. Maybe there's tons in Europe, tons of them, and some of the really popular ones are in France and Spain and I know that there's a big one in Portugal. I don't know if there's one in Israel. There's I can show you a cool book, actually. Let me show you a cool book. But before I get to that, get off. Chris says, how's John doing? John's doing okay. I got to call John tonight for my 7 o'clock phone call. Momo is peach in Japanese. Oh, that's fun. Georgia's the peach state. You guys are tricky. We have lots of conventions here in London, Ontario. Oh, yeah. Yeah, lots of them. HorrorCon, 2 different Comic Cons. One is more towards the gamer cosplay anime fair, and the other one leans more towards the pop media celebrity fair. And that's the one that I'm the art director for. And I'll be up on the 2nd floor. Go up to the top of the escalators and then go around the corner, and that's me. So, yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to have pages there from the book that's coming together right now. I will have pages on it that can't be included in the book because of licensing, blah, blah, blah. Things like the Frankenstein pages and the Universal Monsters pages. So we have printed double-sided pages, the right size is what the book will be, so that you can insert them in the book when you get one. And then we're going to figure out some sort of angle so that when people are ordering the books, and I don't know if they hold one up in front of a picture or something like that, we'll figure out ways to get people copies of those pages and do fun things like that. So we're thinking and stinking. Dun, 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 dun. So I'm going to put Frank's hands up, kind of in that kind of a pose. Very gnarly knuckles, gnarly Corbin. Well, I hope anybody that's in the area comes and says hi. Where are we now? Yeah, okay. So I'm caught up. All right, I'm going to get something. So here is one of my favorite books. I might have shown this before. So there's 2 brothers. And here comes the mispronunciation. There's 2 brothers, Asaph Hanukkah and Tomer Hanukkah. That's how somebody told me it's supposed to be pronounced. And so Asaph and Tomer are just fantastic. But I'm a big fan of Asaph's work. Tomer, there's a real loveliness to what Tomer does as well. And they work very similar to one another, but the coloring is clearly Tomer here. And so here's a book that they did together, and it's just gorgeous work. It really is. And a really stylized, cartoony, like a cartoon animated film. You know, the subject matter is really dark, but just it's fantastic. It's about child soldiers being turned into mega weapons. However, Asaph has 2 books. There's Plug and Play is the second one. The Realist is the first one. I don't know if I've shown these before, but he utilizes a 9-panel format. And so a 9-panel format is this, okay? Standard 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And the breakup of the page. But the Realist has 2 things. It talks about the real-life journey that he and his wife and their family are on, and the hardships and the challenges and the problems with communication, and, you know, where do we go forward? How do we do whatever we do? Raising kids and the challenges and the trials that you go through with those. Right, but to give up so much for comfort, he says that after the conversation that they've been having about moving, and for comfort, he takes his glasses off, and his wife says, "What's wrong with comfort?" Well, yeah, you can't see. It's the little insights, the little things that he puts into things, I really love those. And here's a guy who explores whatever idea he comes across. He draws whatever sort of storytelling he wants to do. He sticks to this format or variations within the division of space on the page. Like here's Fata Morgana, here they are as a real family. Here he is in the dream version of his family. You know, this is a whole bunch of little versions of him that make up his head and the ideas that they put down on page. You know, it's just Yom Kippur, the Day of Independence. It talks so much about what it is to be an artist who is trying to raise a family in Israel. And I really, really like this. The two brothers live separate from one another. SF is in Israel, and Tomer has moved someplace else. I can't remember if it's France at this point or if it's New York at this point. But they don't live together. There's a couple of brother teams like that out there in the industry, but that, you know, both illustrate and both are very talented, but don't live together and didn't really grow up together for the most part. But when you look at, you know, here he is spilling his guts all out, and you know, for what? Here's your pound of flesh. Like, just the symbolism is fantastic. You know, all of the different parts of living and growing and meeting heroes of his, and it's just fantastic stuff. And so when he does the second book, is after the birth of their daughter and trying to figure out their roles in family. You know, here he is de-aging himself down to childhood. You know, just absolutely fantastic. The return of the virus. This is what it feels like as a parent when your kids get sick. Anyways, the two brothers are phenomenal artists, but really strong Israeli artists. So if there is a con, he would be going to it, Miriam. If there's a convention, he would be there in the European market. The other two brothers, I've got a book called Off Road, and it's two brothers named Fabio Ba and Gabriel Moon. Well, I can't find it. I'll show it tomorrow. Anyways, it's the same case. It's parents divorced. One was raised in Israel. The other one was raised in New York. And one was raised with dad, one was raised with mom. And so it's, which is why they have different names. But again, it's another instance of two phenomenal creators with similar styles, but very, very unique perspectives on things. They did a book together. There's a book, at least one of them did, called Day Tripper. And the whole idea is examining a person's life. What if, you know, you died tomorrow? How would the world go on for all of the people that know you? And then the next issue is, well, what would have happened with those people's lives if you had died at 16? Or what if you were never born? And so each of these issues of this 12-issue series is examining what would be, how do you affect the world around you? And it's really interesting. It's a really interesting idea. So there's so many fantastic creators that are out there internationally that I don't think that we recognize enough. I really don't. And I think that being able to explore more into the more international market, you'd be amazed. You'd be absolutely amazed. But most people, you know, when you think of comic books, people only think of it as, you know, Spain, France, London, you know, from the Western perspective, or, you know, Asia, all the different Asian countries with their different styles, and they're all manga, even though they're not. Or in, you know, the Asian market and how it considers other parts of the world. But all of Europe has this fantastic, really specific, geo-specific styles of comics. Like, there's a thing in the Scandinavian countries, in the northern countries. There's perspectives where because of relative isolation for periods of the year, there'll be communities where everybody's making comic books. Like, just imagine the majority of a town is all doing something like that, doing some sort of storytelling, and working in partnerships or whatever it is. For somebody writes it and somebody comes up with it. There is so much creativity in different ways, and the Scandinavian perspective in storytelling is so very different because of, well, for one, there's geocentricity, but at the same time, you've got cultural centricity as well, and how that affects the way that we perceive story and the way that we tell stories is I think it's intoxicating. But I'm a weirdo, so just thank you. You're welcome. So we touch a lot of lives. We're not really aware because we diminish our influence. I don't know how many people I touch. I never really think about that. That's funny to say. You're right. You're so right. Somebody else. I made an allusion to something on Marsha's stream the other night. Maybe it was last night. Time just does not stay sensible for me anymore. I think it was last night. I talked about how my favorite fan is possibly in a part of the world where they don't have running, they don't have hydroelectricity or running water, and somehow a page blows on the wind and the person sees it and goes, "It's the greatest story I've ever seen." We just don't know. We just don't know our reach, and we just don't know. If you don't feel like you're connecting to people nearby, you never know that you'll have a positive influence on somebody in a remote part of the world. There's an artist here that I got a chance to meet at London Comic a few years ago, Will Sportasio. He's from, and I'm sorry if this is wrong, but I think it's the Philippines. And so he was one of the guys that founded Image Comics. He was working on a bunch of Marvel books and made a fair amount of money. So when they started Image, he started a school back home where he was from. And because of him starting that school to teach people in Indonesia how to write and draw comic books, there's an absolute wealth of creators that are here in North America because of that. There's a fellow named his last name is Nguyen, and he's just phenomenal. They're just really great artists, and all of them with their own unique styles and approaches. And I gotta tell you, we wouldn't have that if it wasn't for somebody going back and investing where he was from. So yeah, it's amazing the reach that. And now that Dustin Nguyen is a really prominent artist who's done a lot of work. It's pretty neat. Pretty neat. Like my nerd. So we've gotta make sure that's in the ring of the skizzers, and then there's the thumb, right? And then we can have the other fingers. So we'll have the lady's hair right here. And the reason that I have the panel designed this way is so that the threat of Frank touching this lady's head is real. Here he is learning, and his learning is him standing nearby holding the pair of scissors ready to cut someone's hair. That to me is a scary idea. But I think that the idea of the Bride of Frankenstein here, the electrifying styling, is fantastic. And thank you for that. We definitely have to implement that somehow into the piece here. So in this case, the dialogue is going to be over the shoulder, but for consistency, because we know in most hair salons, we've got hair cutting bays generally on both sides of the room. Or this is the side of the room where they wash the hair, and this is the side of the room where whatever. But there's pretty uniformly, most of the ones I've seen here, mirrors both sides. A lot of mirrors in the room. Cut that there. So the panel is probably going to end there. So that's fine. That works pretty well. In this pocket. And let's get a piece of that sleeve in there. Okay. Heading out, guys. Have a good afternoon. Good afternoon, Dee Dee. Thanks for stopping by. Chris as well. Thank you. It's great to see you as both. I appreciate you guys coming over. So in the mirror, across a couple of mirrors, we can put the back of Frank's head. Just because he would take up a lot of mirror space. And also saves us from having to draw a lot. And we'll draw this twisted perspective on the glass that would be over there. Okay, so yeah, like in here, you can draw shelves for where the product would be in the front foyer part of the place, but we're going to put it in there in a sort of twisted way so that it populates the picture. There we go. Okay. Where are we at? Am I caught up? I think I'm caught up. Okay. So we've got our first two panels. We've got Frank set out to learn to cut hair. And then here's the second part of, my name is Steve and I'm brushing my teeth. And then he says, today I'm learning to cut hair. So, scissors ready. Scissors are good. It's just, we're not talking about a deep thinker. Let's be honest. So, let me think about this. What else can we do with Frank? I think we can have that whole. So, what do we want to do with your hair thing? That's a regular thing when you go to hairdressers. Maybe that's just a guy thing because guys never know. What do guys always say? Just take a little bit off the top. I didn't go to the hairdressers a lot. I had really long hair when Lori and I met. But now I got short hair. I say as long as he cuts hair and no heads. Yeah, that's a good point. Okay, so let's do a close-up on him looking down at the lady as he's doing her hair. So we get that shot where, because we want to introduce, I think it's fun to introduce the fact that it is a Frankenstein monster. So as much as it's cutesy-pootsy jokes that I usually make in these, I do like continually reinforcing the fact that it's the Frankenstein monster. So, so let's get him in here and let's get, we can have him say something about he doesn't like doing coloring bad. Like just the whole idea of, positive and negative reinforcement constantly is the idea with this character. So we'll just get some of him drawn in. But that's half the fun. Taking an idea, like an existing thing, and turning it on its ear. I enjoyed that as a kid when I used to read it with the original bunch of idiots that were at Mad Magazine. That's what they call themselves. The original guys that were at Mad would do things like Stupid Man. They make Superman a moron. And, the whole thing about he changes into glasses and no one recognizes him. Everybody recognizes him. He's an idiot. What do we got? Candy. Hi, Candy. How are you? Hey there. Excited to catch you live. I'll make it exciting. Welcome aboard. Frankenstein's the doctor, not the monster, not the alleged monster. I know that. But for simplicity's sake, when you say Frankenstein, the automatic association is not Victor. The automatic association is the monster. So that's the only reason I'm using that short language. But I also don't call these pages the Frankenstein monster, right? I call these adventures Stephen, right? Stephen goes to kindergarten. I reduced the Frankenstein monster down to this simplistic childlike mind, and so because of that, I skirt that whole Frankenstein monster. Which one should we use more appropriately? It's pretty straightforward, but I just call him Stephen. And if I call him Stephen, he's a little bit more mine, instead of just being the universal monster and having people go, the universal monsters would never do that. It's not. His name is Stephen. I'm tricky like that. That's why my friends call me Whiskers. Okay, so let's get his other eye in here. And I've got the whole low eyelid menacing look because he looks underneath his eyelids. So as per usual, as the usual, if anybody has any short little ideas that they want to throw at me and sort of challenge me by, if you've had a chance to see the different stuff that we do with one-page stories on Instagram or Facebook, that sometimes that helps in coming up with something. But I'll take any and all comers. I like the challenge. I get challenged. Boy, oh boy. I've had to do a page backwards. I've had to do a page with numbers and letters as characters. I've had to do a page, like some of the pages get elaborate, like Jim Luan suggested that I do a page with a horse playing guitar riding a bicycle on the edge of a black hole. All right, let's go. You just got to try anything and have fun, right? So, yeah, if anybody has any ideas, always feel free to spit them out. There's no dumb ideas. What's dumb is what I do with them. So, tomorrow, Marsh will be here with me. Marsh Makes Comics. He'll be on the stream with me, and we'll be both drawing the 3 prompts that we each got from Dee today. So that'll be some fun. We've got different prompts each, so it's not like that one's better, that one's worse. We're not going to get into any of that stuff, but we're just going to have fun and do things in our own styles. And I'm thinking tomorrow I'm going to use a really dark valued piece of paper, like maybe a dark blue or something, and I'm going to draw in reverse. I think tomorrow I'll draw with white on a dark surface. And so that's, instead of drawing the lines, the contour of shapes in an image, I'll be drawing these spaces in the image. So it's fun. And if you haven't tried that, try it. It's a lot. It makes you look at your drawings differently, because you've got to sort of consider things from the opposite side of the coin. You've got to consider things not as just in a linear way, but as shapes and as volumes. And sometimes stuff like that really, really helps you to push it. Yvonne says he has to shampoo it to cut it. You know what? Let's do that. Let's make some notes. Let's do this. What are some of the key things in a hairdresser's that we want to include? Because right away, this is her teaching him how to cut hair, and he's learning alongside, right? So we still got to make sure that there's a shampoo. We got a blow dry, I think, right? Or do we want to do that thing on top of the head? Funk that thing, and then when the reveal comes, it can be Bride of Frankenstein hair. Maybe so. We got to get Bride of Frankenstein hair in there, right? What does Miriam say? Not a clue from modern hairdressers. Well, what about Miriam? You got very long hair and you've got braids in your hair, and I know in some hairdressers you see the braiding ladies' hair. You know, I go. Barbers are boring. In all comparison, barber hair is, you know, come on in, let's talk about sports. You got to learn about sports. And chippity chop, chip chop, there you go. Oh, color the hair. Thank you. See, there we are. Coloring the hair. That's good. I like that. I think, well, we'll see. I'm going to write perm. You know, big shoulder pads. It's the 1980s. I really used to get perms. It is ridiculous. Anyways, so yeah, so there's some ideas that we're going to try to incorporate here. And thank you for helping me think about those. But Frankenstein as a hairdresser. Hi, my name's Stephen. I'm learning to cut hair. You know, extensions. See, now we're going to have lots and lots of stuff. Extensions. We'll see what we can fit in. Foil for the highlights. Okay, so we'll put that with the color. We'll put foil. I like that. My head just had him taking a thing of aluminum foil from the box and just, you know, putting it over top of his head. That's really fun, Danny. I like that. That's a good one. I could take the nicest suggestion and just make it wrong. Just make it wrong. Okay, so I've got a close-up shot of him where this is the place where we can have him say, you know, he's learning how to do all kinds of things. We've got space about there, about the eyes, because the eyes and this expression is the focus of the panel. So we know that whatever we draw here can be covered up. And then we can have some space down here to be covered up. So, oh no. Foil bad. I had, let me see. Just give me 1 second. I'll pull up the first 2 pages. I got them here. There they are. Okay, so here are the first 2 Frankenstein pages for those that might not have seen them. So this is okay. So this one is Frankenstein learning to drive. This is Frankenstein getting his license, and of course he drives through. So this is in relation to the previous page, and the previous page of so it's called Stephen goes for his driving test. And the previous page is Stephen's first day at kindergarten. And so with this one, he meets his parents, see him off, his adopted parents. He goes to the school. They get to play with the animals, you know. Pets good, you know. And then they have lunch. He hates carrots. They all go for nap time. He doesn't like to sleep. And then they play duck, duck, goose, but he feels left out, you know. You know, and what adventures are we going to go to next? And that's where it says Country Jamboree on the thing behind him. And so that's why I've drawn the Country Jamboree page, but I've never shown it for some reason. So the follow-up that I did to this one is Stephen goes for his driving test. And Stephen goes for his driving test, has a flashback. So there he is sitting in a Jeep, which is kind of how I feel in a car. And his driving instructor's just absolutely terrified and yelling at him. And he drives through his schoolyard from the previous adventure, sees a pretty lady, you know, goes up a hill. The car's on fire. He doesn't get his license. And here he is riding on a bus with a lady that isn't as nice as the lady he saw before. So it's silly, but it's silly fun. So Miriam says you need to do movies for the voices of the characters. There's a bunch of I've done some shorts on YouTube. There are some shorts on the page, and then I've done some audio files on Patreon. So when I put a new page out, I'll read the page and provide some of the voices so that people can see how ridiculous I was thinking. I don't know that that's necessarily endearing, but not what you said, but I don't know that I do it very well, but it's fun. All right, so we've got Frank here, and this is where he starts talking about all the things that he's learned. So we'll get that down. Let's get that big old chin in there. Where are we at? That's funny. So as we talk about all the things that he's learning, this is where I'm going to try to incorporate panels with as many of these pieces of information as we can think to do. I'll try to get them all in here. It's only so much page, right? But I think I can get 4 panels across the top, or at least 3 to 4 panels across the top, and 4 to 5 panels across the bottom. So we can get a bunch of stuff in there. Fit in all kinds of little jokes. The antics that Stephen gets up to. And let's not forget the thing in his neck. Oh, I have to do something. I'm sorry. Here. That's for a random message that I got today. Do I have like the art? Am I tracing over art? Sometimes is that because I draw fast. So from now on, I thought I'd go no blank paper. Relax. Just practice drawing. Just draw at different speeds. That's all. Okay, so here he is. There's his hairline. It's not going to be seen in the panel, I wouldn't think, but we get his hair up here. It's very stylish. It's a very, very, very stylish cut. The time is it? It's 1:23. It's time for Dumb Joke of the Day. I bought this eraser in Toronto, and it has this really cool case that goes over. It's a sharpener and an eraser. I just use it as a sharpener because it's got this cool case that goes over the eraser part. But every time, right, I can't quite figure out how to make it work as an eraser. It's cool that it's got this and everything like that, but when you try to erase stuff, it's ridiculous. This has been Chris's Dumb Joke of the Day. It's just saying, just be careful when you buy these erasers that have built-in cases around them. Okay, so I will be having Marsh on the show tomorrow, on the stream tomorrow, and we'll be working on 3 prompt pages, and we'll see what we get done with that. And then on Friday, I'll be putting up a video, and Saturday as well. And I may be doing some interviews with people at the con. So, but I don't believe that I'll be here on Friday doing the stream. So just thought I'd let people know that. But we'll have something else going on for folks as well. There's a couple of cool writers that are at the con that I want to interview. It's one thing to have lots of the drawing people on here, but let's get some of the writing people here too. Okay, so here's our guy. Got a bunch of stuff. Anne says, Stephen as a trendsetter. Okay, I got to write that down. Here comes Anne Lara with a suggestion. Stephen as a trendsetter. Kids at school wearing bolt necklaces. Love it. See, as soon as I think of things like this, my brain, little visual images will stick in there. And this one is, here's a shot of some kids going, and they got these cool, bolt necklaces on. And in the same photo with the kids, it's just the neck. It's up to here on Frank, and all you can see him is going like this, but you don't see his head at all. I like jokes like that. Yeah. Okay, that's in the book. It's down in the book. Moon says, I wonder how Mary Shelley would include the barbershop into her narrative. Well, we talked yesterday about how, there's a comparative story for the Shelley's Frankenstein and her examining the affectation of the early Illuminati guys that were set in that town of Germany, and how the instigation from the ideas that they started ended up with the French Revolution. And so a lot of the courses of action and a lot of the locations in Frankenstein are actually location places of major revolutions in history. And it ends in St. Petersburg, which is really at the end of the revolutionary age, where the first one, where Napoleon saw his defeat at St. Petersburg. He could conquer no more of Russia. Lost so many of his men, had to turn around. So, there's I love that kind of thing. Think about what Anne Rice would think of how everybody looks at it. And, makes a Universal monster movie out of Frankenstein. Frankenstein's monster is incredibly erudite. Like he's very informed, and he's very well read, and he speaks multiple languages, and he's and yet the Universal fire bad, have no image. Out and back and still. How much include barbershop? Out and back and still. I'm missing it, Miriam. You got to help me out. What are you referring to? Okay, so here's his reference to. I can't remember. I forget what I said 3 seconds ago. Okay, so let's do the hair washing part. Let's get that in there. So we'll put a lady's. We'll put her in recline. We'll have her eyes closed. Okay, and so we got the bottom lip there. So we're going to have Frank going rah at her head. Everything's okay. Okay. Oh, you had no image. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. I hope that everybody's getting this is coming through for everybody. I know that people have had some lockups. I saw Anne froze, I think, for a second, and then Dee Dee was freezing this morning too. And I try to encourage people whenever, if the screen freezes ever like that, let's just start singing around. Everybody, row, row, row your boat, and just type it like that. Row, row, row your boat, and the next person gets gently down the stream, and I'll occupy us for 2 seconds. But nobody ever does it with me. But come on, we all know. I'm okay with that. So, yeah, Corbin snoring. Okay, so we got the neckline in there. Let's get that ear. And we've got to have his gigantic hands about to wash her hair. It's just a daunting idea. What time are we at? 1:30. Okay, a couple more minutes and then I'm going to wrap up for today. Just because I still got a bunch of things I'm trying to get done. I'm sorry. Tomorrow I'll be showing, well, I have Marsh here, but I'm also going to show the banner. Because it'll be here if I have to drive to Toronto morning and get it myself. If I have to go to Toronto in the morning to do it. So. All right, so while I'm finishing up this little image here, again, if anybody's in the area, stop on by on the weekend. Love to see you. You get to suggest a thing in person, and I'll be handing out candy for that. Make a suggestion, little boys and girls. Here's some candy. Do a page where people fart. You know, that's what's going to happen. Who are we kidding? Stitch on the wrist there. Make sure I get some of those little elements in here as I'm going. Okay, so there's our first hand. Poor lady has no idea what's coming. So I'm just putting a basin behind her here. We've got a towel over her shoulder there. That's funny. I'm doing a page. Frankenstein is a hairdresser, and my wife's hairdressing appointment starts in 20 minutes. So this is kind of apropos. I think today she's going for a mohawk. Maybe not. Maybe not. Okay. Yeah, so this is fun. This is coming together pretty nicely. I'm liking that. He could do a mani-pedi as well. Let's hope her hairdresser's not Steve. Too good. How long have I been drawing? Probably 50 years. My mother tracks it back to when I was really small. So I don't know. I've always been drawing as far as I know. But that's why each day I try to work with different tools and do things a different way. Oh, hey, okay. So I hope everybody's doing the zine stuff. Before, I meant to do this. I meant to share this in case anybody hasn't seen them yet. These are the 4 these are extra ones, but these are what I have mailed to Janet. So I've done 4 different zines. And this is one of the things that I was about to mention to you, Candy. Is that I like to work in different medium, and I like to work in different styles, and just there's an underlying similarity, of course. But so when I did the zines, this is Vulture Samurai Curious. I'm curious. Check. So that's what this one is, and this one is Gardner. So there's Gardner, and this one I did is 2-page spreads. So each double opening is a double page. So Gardner, Pegasus, and Vampire. So this is my first Pegasus, and then the other person corrects and says, "Come on, they're magical creatures," and she describes them as horses. And I'm not showing the back part of these because I don't want to give away any punchlines. And then this is, hey, you. So did you hear me yell, hey, you? So yes, even an armadillo, one of my words. Armadillo, laughter, ha, 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 and any tool. And then I put a little advertisement for tools in here. So, and then the fourth one is beavers, boisterous, and blinking. So all of the ones have the blinking on it for the ones that are going with Janet. So this is the third or the fourth one. There's the peach tree. This is actually a story that Janet told everybody about a beaver eating the peach tree in her backyard. So I did this for Janet, but from the beaver's perspective of how much he appreciated that lady growing the peach tree for her. So yeah, we try a little bit of everything. What, no chocolate? Oh, thanks, Anne. So, I mean, my point is, the zines are going to be so different from so many different people, and I just wanted to be as encouraging as I could, and just here's a whole bunch to give to folks. So, I hope that you guys are enjoying the process and having a good time with it, and I look forward to see what people are going to put out. So. There's so much stuff that you can tell with the fusion of words and pictures, and there's so many different ways that we can do stuff that you've got to have fun with it. You got to give it a shot and do it in whatever style or approach that you work from. So. So here's his gigantic menacing hands as he's going to wash the poor lady's hair. So at this point, as a person out in the field showing and exhibiting and being published, I'm 30 years in. And so at this point, I've got enough stuff in the memory bank here for sort of saved images that I just sort of tap into my head and just try to remember what things look like and structurally how this is designed and built for me to sit down and start drawing it, And so once you have all those underlying rules of, and those underlying short steps of drawing anything, and you can figure out how to draw anything using circles, squares, and triangles. But once you figure all those things out, then it just becomes accessing the things you need to draw and letting your head go. So, Candy says, nice. I love your humor too. I love drawing and coloring as a kid. I just started rediscovering my love for it. Candy, I'm really happy to hear that about you. Thank you, by the way. But I'm really happy to hear that about the rediscovering part. And there's so much capitulation you're going to get back from that. Like there's such rewards from finding another means for you to express yourself, and that's great. I'm really happy to hear that. Mary Mass, did I see her last scene? No, I saw the video where you and Chris were making them, but I haven't seen the zine yet. So I'm very excited to see the finished zines. So if you've posted it, I'll look it up. I saw some of Chris's with the orange, and you guys are great. That was a fun stream of the two of you working together. What are you drawing and coloring, Candy? I'd be interested. And are you going to take part in the zine swap? It's organized through Janet, and three-word prompts are given to people by Dee Dee, and you've got until the end of September to get something in. I'm going to move this over a little bit. You know what? This is going to be the extent of the pen anyways. It's fine, let it go. So we'll draw some of his lapel in here, just so that he's working on her hair above this here sink. Can't even fit him in the panels, for heaven's sakes. What's wrong with these big people? I had somebody tell me that they're going to come to the con just to see if I'm as tall as they think I am. I'm like, okay. It's from today from the stream, Chris. Okay, excellent. I'm going to look it up. That's fantastic. I'm really excited to see that, Miriam, because I saw the processes of it. So I really look forward to seeing that. So. Okay, so here he is about to wash her hair. So we'll get some lather in there. And so as I go over these lines with Fodenosuke pen, if you're interested in inking over drawing with a marker, I highly recommend the Fodenosuke. It's F-E Fudenosuke. I'm probably pronouncing it wrong. But Fudenosuke pens. I've got some. I got gray, I've got red, I've got brown, I've got blue, and I have black. And but the tip on these gives you this lovely, complete sweeping control, like you're using a brush. Very nice. So you can. I'll hold that up. You can see the thickness and thinness in the line, and it's kind of nice. I actually draw my neighbor's house for Christmas gifts last in a friend's coffee shop. I used to draw anything and everything. Well, that's awesome. See, that's awesome. That's fantastic. And architecture is not easy for people to do. So good for you. That's pretty good. I like that a lot. You're gonna try Inktober. Oh yeah, there you go. Get yourselves ready for Inktober. I've been debating on Inktober or not because I do a one-page story every day, and I also in the mornings I'm working on other things. So. I think if I'm going to do anything, I'll do like for Inktober, I'll do like what I do with my sketchbooks, where I've just got like this sort of like these sort of scribble drawings. I think I might do these for like my Inktober. So, we'll see. We'll see, because I can't get any more elaborate than that because I already got a couple of things on the burner. So, but that's fantastic news. Let's do Christober instead. I don't know what that would be. Today we're going to draw Chris's gigantic feet. Today we're going to draw his thumbs. Big ears. Anyways. Yeah, so that's good. That's really cool. That sounds compelling. That you're going to give that a try because now you're back in the mix. If you're going to take a crack at something like Inktober, that's an objective. Like there's also people that do 100 days of comics, or people that do somebody put a task out. So you've got to design some character, or you've got to design some scene for this month or for this week. And so there's so many of those things on the interwebs, and there's so many of those things on Instagram that see, this drives Janet crazy. I don't use rulers, and she just use a ruler for that. She's not wrong. I should be using rulers, but then I gotta sharpen them and erase them. The ruler. I don't know how rulers work. So yeah, enjoy that, embrace that, have some fun with it. So. And make sure you post it and get interaction on it. And it'll give you, and what that'll do is it'll give you some encouragement to do, more self-expression and more exploration of yourself through the ideas that you're interpreting. So. Great idea. I don't know what that's from. We all need to do Steve in different professions. You know what? You are completely welcome to do Steve. Stephen. You're completely welcome to do Stephen in whatever occupations or whatever scenarios you can think of. Any of the stuff that you see me do in One Page Story Extravaganza, any of the ideas, you coming to sit down? Okay, Corbin's joining us. So any of the things that you see me do here, I fully encourage and embrace the idea of people taking the suggestions that I've been given and doing their own versions or the prompts that Judy puts out. Please, I find that really exciting. So, and then Miriam says, Drawloween I did once. Oh, that sounds cool. Is it like a drawing event for Halloween, or is it like a whole month of horror themed things? Like Inktober, but with everything's Halloween themed. It's up the road. Corbin has something to say. I'm going to call him Jacob. Oh, you're going to call him Jacob? Okay. I've been posting on Instagram a little bit. Excellent. I have to look at more. Okay. Corbin, is there anything you want to say before we go? No, don't eat my pencil. Okay. So I'm going to sign off for now. Tomorrow at 2 o'clock, Marshall will be joining us from Marshall Makes Comics, and we'll be having some fun and doing some 3 prompt pages. And the one that I'm given is Shelf, Moon, and Woodpecker. So if you yourself feel compelled to do something with those 3 prompts, please do. But come on out, because we're going to split the screen and we're both going to work on opposite sides. And are you good now? We're going to both work on opposite sides of the screen and have some fun and chat it up about art and Marsh's journey. It'll be fun. It's all month like Inktober. Okay, super cool. Thank you, Christopher. Thank you, Miriam, for coming out. Thank you, Candy. Thank you, everybody else that's come and joined us today. You're all super cool and awesome. Yeah, I'll be back tomorrow at 2 p.m. EST. I should have some fun things to show you for the convention. Corbin, just say hi. Nothing. Well, he gets in the camera and then doesn't do anything. What a kid. So yeah, so I'll be back tomorrow at 2, and then we'll get crack-a-lackin'. But in the meantime, I'll gather up some cool stuff to show you and some cool books. Have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now. You're a bad kid. What are you doing?